John Embry was asked earlier this week if this CU team might be the worst in school history. He handled the question with humor, saying he thought the 1961 Boulder High team was probably worse. Well, there was nothing funny about what happened here at Folsom Field today. And quite honestly, that 61 Boulder Panther team should probably be offended.
Eric Christensen standing by, and heck of a finish, Eric. It's been a while since we've heard from Tom Lehman.
Yeah, Tom Lehman, he's had some success in Colorado before. Back in 2006, he has actually the runner-up at the International. But you're absolutely right, Vic. You couldn't have asked for a better finish at this tournament. You know, sure, the playoff got a little squirrely at times, but how about Fred Couples dropping back-to-back eagles on 15 and 16? David Frost shoots a course record 65 on Saturday, follows that up with a 67 today. But in the end, it was a guy who was relatively unspectacular. Tom Lehman, steady as they goes, capturing not only this tournament, but his first Champions Tour victory and his first victory in the United States since 2000.
Eric Christensen joins us live from Boulder to talk about the season ender for the Buffs. Eric.
Well, Gary, it was the same old story for the Buffs. Poor special teams play and just way too many mistakes has this team tonight saying woulda, coulda, shoulda once again. For Dan Hawkins, he knows he'll have at least one more season to fix what went wrong. And tonight, the coach says he feels fortunate to have that opportunity.
Fires and Todd drives it. Deep right field. You can forget about this one. Gone to the second deck. 2 pinch hits, 2 home runs for Todd Helton this year.
It was sure nice to see Todd Helton turn back the clock last night. Too bad the Rockies had to waste his heroics in another disappointing loss. It was their 6th defeat in the last 7 games. They were back at it this afternoon against the Dodgers, and what a game by Cargo. In the 3rd, you never run on Cargo. He throws a perfect strike to home plate. Then in the 4th, Cargo robs Nick Punto with the diving catch, caps off his great start in this game in the 5th. His 14th home run of the year. That's second most in the National League. Rocks led 4-3. But that lead was short-lived. Jhoulys Chachin just wasn't on top of his game today. Tim Fedorovich loops a double to the gap in the 6th. That scores 2, and the Dodgers would go back on top 6-4. The seesaw affair continued in the 7th. Michael Cuddyer, giddy up. He hits his 9th homer of the year. That's a 2-run shot. And we're tied at 6-6, and that's how it stands right now in the bottom of the 10th. Rockies and Dodgers are tied. So what should the Rockies do with Todd Helton? You know, he's only batting .228. Does the Todd father deserve to call the shots and play when he wants? Or do they need to make a tough decision and bury him on the bench? You can vote on our Ram Trucks poll question at cbsdenver.com. It was a tough afternoon for former Rockies pitcher Jason Hammel. In the 4th against the Tigers, he was tattooed not once, not twice, but 3 straight times. So what do you think is going to happen next? A, is he going to give up a 4th consecutive homer? B, hit the next guy in the head? Or C, take his ball and go home? Let's watch. Ah, it was B. That's going to leave a mark. I guess Hammel has to argue here, but if you hit a guy in the head after giving up 3 straight jacks, you are definitely getting tossed. As the Broncos continue to prepare for next season, it's going to be interesting to see who emerges as a replacement for Elvis Dumervil. The 2 most likely suspects are Robert Ayers and Sean Phillips. Ayers is trying to live up to the hype of being a first-round draft pick, while the former Charger Phillips, he joined the Broncos with designs on winning a Super Bowl. But what about a guy like Derek Wolfe? He might be versatile enough to see some time at Elvis's position. He certainly has the mentality to fill the leadership void Elvis has left behind.
You know, Elvis was obviously one of our true leaders last year because of what he's done and the type of guy he is. And, you know, we needed guys to step up in that role, and he's accepted it. And I like it because he works hard. He's here every day. He thinks he's going to be the best at his position, and I love that confidence about him.
Nice praise from Champ. The Miami Heat are only 1 game away from reaching their 3rd straight NBA Finals. If the Heat beat the Pacers tonight, they'll face San Antonio for all the marbles, but easier said than done. The entire series season between Miami and Indy is split right down the middle at 4-4. Then consider the fact that the Birdman is suspended for tonight's Game 6, and all of a sudden you start to wonder, why is Miami favored tonight?
I think the closeout game is always the toughest. You know, and then when you add the simple fact of being on the road and, you know, you're out of your comfort, it makes it a little tougher. So, You know, but for us, it's a challenge. It's another challenge that we thrive on, that we like, and we should try to take advantage of.
Wow, did you see what Tiger Woods did today? Now, usually that statement is followed by some ridiculous shot that only Tiger can pull off, but not today. He did something, quite honestly, many single-digit handicaps can do. Third round at the Memorial, attorney Tigers won 5 times, but he struggled to his worst 9-hole score ever. I love how he wears his emotions on his sleeve. Doesn't like this one. It ends up in the 16th fairway. Too bad he was playing the 15th hole. Took a double bogey. Then on 18, he just doesn't quite get it past the false front. That led to a triple bogey, and Tiger shoots a 44 on his first 9 holes. I think Tom shot a 43 yesterday. Ended up salvaging a 79 and said, well, had a rough day, I'd say. He trails Matt Kuchar by a mere 16 shots. And finally, how's this for ambitious? Brian Smith, a former high school basketball player at Dakota Ridge, organized a 24-hour hoops marathon this weekend. The 26-year-old was raising money for his nonprofit that builds basketball courts in third world countries. He's already built courts in Uganda, Kenya, and Nicaragua. He hopes to build more as long as he survives these 24 hours of nonstop hoops.
Man, I slept on 4 chairs pushed together for 90 minutes this morning. So not so good, but I'm going to make it. You know, we got about 4 hours left or so, and I'm going to make it and, you know, show these guys a good time.
The event ended at 5. Last report was he did survive, but pretty amazing. A kid that young with a nonprofit.
Good for him.
He's built 9 courts so far in those countries, and he hopes to build more.
Doing good things. I bet he's sleeping right now, though. Probably not watching.
I would think so.
There you go. Thanks, Steve.
For Scotty McKnight, this morning was a job interview. The all-time receptions leader at CU was out to prove he deserves a spot in the NFL. To help make his statement, McKnight brought along his best friend and personal quarterback, Mark Sanchez.
It went great. I mean, I did everything I could.
He looked awesome, just catching the ball. He looked quick, and for undersized, you know, too slow white guy, he looked pretty good. So I was really proud of him.
Scotty and Mark have done this routine before. They've been throwing balls to each other since they were 8 years old. So today, with several NFL scouts in attendance, you would think having Mark as his quarterback would make Scotty's life a whole lot easier.
He told me earlier, he's like, I'm just going to launch one as far as I can right when we get out there and start yelling how slow you are. I was like, okay, well, if I run a good 40, you can't really say that.
By all accounts, McKnight accomplished exactly what he set out to do. He ran a sub-4.5 40 and never dropped a pass from the Jets star quarterback. McKnight may have taken a big step towards playing in the NFL today. Sanchez knows exactly where he'd like to see Scotty go.
If it works out and we're playing together, that's a dream come true. But, you know, I want him to go as high as possible. I want him to do everything he's supposed to, and it'll work out just right for him.
And having a friend in a high place certainly doesn't hurt. Eric Christensen, CBS 4 Sports. Not many Heisman candidates began their careers delivering pizzas, but that's exactly what Moniz did while in junior college. It's a great story for his Heisman campaign, and one Embry says plays a role in his performance on the field. All right, it's time to call Brian Moss, Rick Salinger, maybe Jody Brooks. We need to get an investigation started out at Coors Field because obviously somebody has been messing with the humidor.
Tiger was penalized before the 3rd round even began. Eric Christensen joins us now to explain it. All the years I've been watching golf, I've never seen anything like this. Very strange the way it went down, too.
Yeah, strange indeed. Right here are the rules of golf. It's 181 pages of rules and definitions, and if you don't know every single one of them, it could cost you, and it certainly cost Tiger Woods. The problem came after Tiger hit the flag stick with his approach yesterday on number 15. You remember that ball that hit the flag and spun back into the water? Well, Tiger had to take a drop, and ultimately he made a bogey, and it was that bogey that really cost Tiger Woods. There the drop is, and you can see he did so 2 yards behind where he originally played his 3rd shot. Now, the rules of golf dictate that Tiger needed to drop the ball as close to the original spot as possible. Since he didn't do that, he gets hit with a 2-shot penalty. Tiger didn't realize the mistake and therefore signed an incorrect scorecard. After conducting an interview where Tiger admitted dropping the ball behind the original spot, the Masters Rules Committee assessed Tiger with the penalty this morning.